Hi, so if you don't know me, my name's Dan. I'm the Beardy Cook on Facebook, and North Inch and Muirton Community Council have challenged me to do a Ready Steady Cook. So I'm going to be using some of the ingredients that you would find in one of your give and take boxes. So I've assembled some ingredients. They sent me some pictures, and most of the stuff here is available. I've added a couple of little bits, but you should have them in your store cupboard. So if I switch you around. So these are some of the ingredients that I was seeing on your pictures there. So we've got a Mexican rice, a chopped tomatoes, an onion, tin of tuna, a carrot, black beans in water, although there's a lot of kidney beans, same thing. Pearl barley, obviously this is from my store, so it's half used. What I'm going to be adding is some flour, some stock cubes, and a little bit of lemon juice. What I thought I would try and do is some tuna, kind of flatbread Mexican thing with the rice, the onion, and the tuna. Get some carrot in there, and also a pearl barley risotto. So I'm going to use half the beans in the rice dish and half the beans in the pearl barley dish. So let's get on with it. So first things first, we're going to start with some nice and easy flatbread. So I've got a mug of flour, pop that in the bowl, good pinch of salt, and when I've got hand free, I'll add a ground of pepper, and all you're going to do is pour some water into the bowl and stir it up to make a dough. So we've formed a dough, nice and stretchy, not too sticky. So I'm just going to knead this now for 5 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch. Right, so that's the dough kneaded out. What I've done now is taken a bit about the size of a golf ball, put it on a floured surface, rolling pin, and roll it until it's really thin. What I've got in the background is a dry frying pan, good non-stick one, on a high heat. So when these are rolled out, chuck them straight on, no oil needed. Just make sure they're good and thin. So, give it an extra little stretch. Pretend you're working at Pizza Express, and then over to the frying pan, so it's dead up. Put it in, and let it go. Give the pan a quick shovel to make sure it doesn't stick. And what you'll start to see is the top bubbling up as it cooks. These go quick when the pan is hot. So grab your trusty fish light, flip her over. What you're looking for is a nice golden brown surface, and for it to be cooked all the way through. It shouldn't take long, they are nice and thin as I said. So grab the fish slice again, one turn that way, you can see really starting to bubble up now. And the beauty of these is they're so quick to make. Put them around anything you can do, fajitas, burritos, good with a curry. If you prefer, you can do whole wheat flour to make a chapati, or if you want to swap the water out and use zero fat plain yogurt, not strawberry obviously, you can get a really good Indian style flatbread as well. Obviously there's no yeast in there, so there's no waiting for it to prove. You can keep the dough for 30 minutes to an hour really. Just wrap it in cling film to make sure it doesn't dry out, and then they're ready to go when you are. One more flip, and you can see it's starting to get nice and golden there. Just give it a quick press down. is done. So, on to the next bit. Right, so that's the flatbreads cooked. Next is going to be the kind of spicy Mexican taco filling thing that I'm doing. So I'm going to be using the spicy Mexican rice, half a tin of tomatoes, half a tin of beans, whole tin of tuna, half this onion, half this carrot. What I'm going to do is slice the onion, shave, then grate the carrot. Then we're going to lob it in the pan, so we'll come back when all this is prepped. So, back to the pan. The flatbread's done. I've left the pan on the heat. All I've done is give it a wipe out, turn the power down to 4 of 6, so medium high. So in with the onions, and then in with grated carrot. What we don't want is big lumps of raw chewy carrots. This is a great way to add some sweetness, also some flavour and some veg into your dish. So this way. Let this go quickly. Break up your onion a bit. Don't forget, this is just half of that onion, half of that carrot. So we're going to use the other half in the next dish. So that's everything broken up. What you want to do now, it's started to cook, is season. So a sprinkle of salt. And the same with the pepper. So that's seasoned with salt and pepper, so I'm going to add about half a tin of these black beans and half a tin of tomatoes, and then I've got this packet of spicy Mexican rice here. What you do is give it a good squidge up, take the lid off, and drop all that in, and then give it a good stir up. Because the rice is already cooked, you don't need a massive amount of time for this to be done. Just make sure it's all broken up. Of course, these things are massively adaptable. If you want to add your own spices, your own meat, feel free. This is just a basic recipe. Some Cajun spice in here would be really good. Obviously, there's already some veg in there. There's some bits of sweet corn. Some peppers. If you're a bit of a chili freak, a chili in there would go really well. Obviously, if you're using anything like chicken or pork, you want to make sure that's cooked through first before you add in the rice. So cook it in with the onions and the carrot. I would personally use thighs there. They're cheaper and they don't dry out as much. So that's starting to come together nicely. What you're looking for is something that's not too wet, so when you put it in your flatbread it doesn't leak through, fall out, make a mess. Especially if you're a handsome bearded chap like myself. Now this is going to do enough for 2 people. Probably with some leftovers. So that's that done. I'm going to pause while I open the tuna. Right, so that's the tin of tuna going in. Also I've drained it first so it's got none of the brine going in. Give it a good stir up. Make sure it's all coated in the sauce and the rice. Now to serve this, all you're going to be doing is spooning a load into a flatbread, folding it up and pushing it into your face. If you want to garnish this, some spring onion would be good, some chopped coriander, some basil would work, loads of stuff you can do. Dead easy, make it your own, use what you've got in your cupboards. Even dried herbs, Mexicans use a lot of oregano, so a sprinkle of oregano would be good. And there it is, done. Simple. Right, on to the next one. Right, so we're back with meal idea 2. So this is going to be a pearl barley risotto. I've already prepared the ingredients. So I've got a pan on medium heat, just a touch of oil in there. First thing that's going to go in is the onion and the carrots. I've made just over a pint of stock. I've got the half tin of tomatoes, the beans, and a mug of pearl barley. So, basic idea is in with the veg, sweat that down, season it, and in with the pearl barley. Just give that a minute to start browning up, and then slowly but surely we're going to add the stock. It's going to take a bit of time, so what I'll do is I'll start you off, and then I will pause and come back towards the end. So that's the veg in. Of course, if you've got any other veg, some celery goes really well here. Stir it around, make sure everything's breaking up. Yeah, some celery works really well here. Sweat that down. You can add pretty much anything you want. Again, this is just a basic recipe. If you've got any favourite herbs that you want to season with, some lemon juice can go really well. In fact, I might add some. If you've got some parsley, that will go well. So it's started to turn just a little bit translucent. This is when you hit it with a seasoning. So give it a good touch of salt. Don't forget you're making it with stock. If you, like me, you've used a stock cube, go easy on the seasoning. Taste it later. You can always adjust. You can always add salt. You can't take it out. You want some pepper in here too, but 1 to 2 hand pepper grinder. So I will put that in just a minute. Just when the onions start to look a bit cooked, make a hole in the middle. Add your mug of pearl barley. Give it a good stir up. So what you want to be doing as you're making the dish is adding a ladle full of stock at a time. Just keep stirring, watch it absorb. It's a dish made with love, this one. And the final texture you're looking for is the barley to be cooked nice and gloopy. You don't want it too stiff. When it starts to look cooked, start tasting it. That's the important thing. Make sure everything tastes right. If it needs more salt, add salt. If it needs more pepper, add some pepper. If you've got some flavourings that you want to get in there, that would be the good time. Also, if you're cooking this with any meat, start adding that about now, so it gets cooked all the way through. Some chicken would work well here. If you could cook some fish on the side, this would be a brilliant side dish for a bit of fish. Also, if you wanted to flash it with a little bit of vermouth or martini, or a small bit of wine, now would be the time to do that. Oh, we add some gin. So, in with the first ladleful of stock. I can't give you an amount of stock that we'll use to make this. It's just one of those play it by ear. So you're going to keep stirring. So it's all absorbed, and then put in the next little splash. And keep going like that until the pearl barley is nearly cooked. When it's nearly cooked, you're going to add the tomatoes and the beans, just to bulk it out a bit. So I'll come back to you then. Right, so I've been stirring now for about 15 minutes, just adding some stock, letting it all absorb. The barley has now gone from rock hard to chewy. It's doubled in size. Not quite ready yet, so what we're going to do is add the last of that tin of tomatoes. Don't forget, this is full of juice, so the barley is going to absorb that. I've got a little bit of stock left over, just in case it needs finishing, so stir this in. Make sure it's well combined. Now, I'm going to add the black beans as well. Of course, we can use other beans. There's kidney beans, pinto, Lenny, butter beans, ballotti, loads of stuff. So here we go. So we get this on a medium to medium low heat, just letting it simmer, stirring away. Don't forget, once it's back to the heat, check the seasoning. If you're using stock cubes, they're quite salty, so it should be alright, but give it a taste. It's your dish. Make it how you want to eat it. That's the joyous thing about these recipes. I'm going to give you the base and you expand upon it. So if you want to add some herbs, now would be a good time. I think some parsley would go well here. Or raid in the back of the cupboard, some mixed dried herbs. If you're going for a Spanish flavour, some smoked paprika. Or even some Cajun seasoning. Or I've got a bit of barley stuck in my tooth from chewing on. So there we go, that's coming along nicely. Obviously you don't want it stiff and dry. What you want is a nice wet sloppy mixture, not too sloppy. You want this to be a joy to eat, so taste it. Barley still needs a few minutes, so I'm going to let it go. If it dries out too much, obviously add a little bit more stock, and then it'll be ready to serve. Obviously again, as you're plating up, if you've got a bit of spring onion, cut a bit of spring onion across the top of it, that would work well. So this is a nice veggie dish to do. Doesn't have to be any meat in there. It takes a bit of work, but everybody you serve it to will appreciate it. Obviously this could do 2 people as a meal, do 4 people as a side. So if you've got a family that are in quarantine together, get them involved. Do a side, do this as a side, get them to do a main. See what you can come up with. So I'll see you when it's ready to cook. So here we have, getting towards the final stages. So as you can see, the barley has swelled up nicely. It's absorbed all of that stock. It's not too dry. So about ready to plate up. Let's knock the hob off. So plate. What I'm going to do, he says one-handed, is stick a flatbread in the bowl, and then a good spoon or two of the risotto. Take that off the heat so it stops cooking, and then just brighten it slightly, a couple of drops of lemon juice. So that's that. You've got a couple of ingredients, a couple of good dishes. If you're on Facebook, give the Beardy Cook page a like. Loads and loads of recipes on there. Everything's always easy. I don't complicate stuff too much. It's always £1, 1 knife. So yeah, happy cooking. Thanks for watching.